All right, welcome to the Ravit Show. We are here at Snowflake Summit. It's day one, and look who I have with me, Somesh, who's the CEO and co-founder at Pantomath. Somesh, welcome to the Ravit Show. Such a pleasure to finally meet you in person. Obviously, we've seen the great work that Pantomath does, and I'm kind of excited to learn more about it. So, would you like to share a little about yourself and also tell us a little about Pantomath?
Sure, yeah. Thanks for having me, Ravit. First of all, yeah, great to be here at the Snowflake Summit this year. For everyone that doesn't know me, Somesh Saxena, I'm the CEO and founder of Pantomath. Backstory, in case you didn't know, so I was actually the head of data and analytics at GE Aerospace before starting Pantomath. So for GE, I led a 100 plus person team supporting 18,000 data consumers.
Wow.
And I saw, not just as a practitioner, I saw not just my technical teams, but my business stakeholders, my executives all struggle with data quality and data reliability challenges.
Right.
I saw my team, my data teams, learn from the business very reactively that we had data issues. And then they had to go on these wild goose chases. They had to, back and forth, troubleshooting, relying on tribal knowledge to manually reverse engineer data pipelines across different data platforms and trying to identify the root cause, understand the impact across the board. All of it caused productivity loss, not just for my team, for the business as well, but more importantly, data downtime, data reliability issues, lack of trust in data as an organization with poor decision making on bad data. That's where the idea of Pantomath really came about. And so Pantomath, in a nutshell, is a data pipeline observability and traceability platform, essentially a real-time monitoring solution for looking at the health of the entire end-to-end data pipeline, right? Going from data producers to data consumers and touching every single hop in between. So we monitor the health of the pipeline itself as well as the health of the data flowing through the pipeline. The vision, and the vision of the company really is to, automate data operations for larger Fortune 500s and enterprises through this pipeline observability and traceability platform to drive data reliability, trust in data as an organization, eliminate poor decision making with bad data.
Very interesting. So it comes with all the experience that you've had and all the problems that you also faced in the data engineering teams faced there. So I'm kind of curious to also learn a little about, because you've seen this space very closely over the years. I'm kind of curious to learn a little about how have you seen the space evolve over the last 4 years or 5 years, because I've seen massive changes in this space, but at the same time there's a lot of progress. Right, enterprises are now more aware about having data observability in their data stack. So I'm kind of curious to learn a little about that.
Yeah, no, great question actually. There's been a lot of evolution in the data observability space. If you think of the thesis with which it started, right? It started with the thesis that application performance monitoring, APM solutions like Datadog, Dynatrace, New Relic, they aren't really geared towards solving data quality and reliability challenges.
Right.
Rightfully so. They're geared towards application monitoring, infrastructure monitoring. And also the manual reactive data quality checks are exactly that. They're manual and they're reactive.
Right.
And so there came a need for monitoring and observing the health of the data itself. And that was the rise of data observability. But the challenge that most data observability players in that first wave of data observability in the last few years face is that they're only focused on data at rest, right? Data at rest is looking at, for example, a Snowflake or Databricks table, and they're checking to see if it has missing data, right? That's a data volume check.
Right.
They're looking to see if the data is stale or not through data freshness checks. They're looking at the data lineage, which is a pretty popular feature in data catalogs itself, right? It's table 1 and 2 are joined to create table 3, and you understand the data journey through data lineage, and all of this is data at rest. While that's important, it's only a piece of the puzzle, unfortunately. And so through Pantomath, what we're seeing is a new wave of data observability 2.0, for lack of a better phrase, that not just looks at data at rest, but also data in motion.
Right.
Because think about it, right? If you have a table in Snowflake that went from 100,000 records to 50,000, it didn't just lose rows by sitting there. Something had to have happened upstream of that, causing that issue. That's the data in motion component. Maybe the data came in late through data latency problems. Maybe a job or pipeline broke somewhere or didn't start at the right time.
Exactly.
And so data at rest and data in motion together make up the holistic end-to-end cross-functional and cross-platform data pipeline. And the emphasis on not just data at rest, but data in motion is what's needed to truly solve the problem, because with just a data quality check or data volume or freshness check, you're gonna understand, okay, something's wrong, but what do you do from there? How do you go resolve the problem? How do you take action on it? There has to be something upstream of that that broke that, right?
Totally.
And data at motion, just to explain it a bit differently, is looking at the data ingestion, transformation, orchestration, refresh jobs across all those different data tools and platforms that make up the flow of your data, right?
Yes.
So data at rest plus data in motion together give you that holistic observability and traceability of understanding what's wrong, where it's wrong, why it's wrong, and how to fix it. Because without that, tools would just be a check engine light telling you something's wrong.
Exactly.
And Pantomath, our vision is to be more than that, to be a diagnostics tool you plug in your car to understand how do you fix the problem, how do you bring it up and running again.
Right. Okay, those are pretty good insights. That also brings me to another question, which is around, obviously, what do you think are the key pillars then for data observability? Any thoughts around that? Because I know I've read something around that at Pantomath, so I'm kind of curious to learn from you firsthand what it is for you.
Sure, yeah, great question. Again, a few of the pillars are actually pretty well known out there, right? Data quality is an important one. Again, reactive data quality checks alone after the fact can't solve a problem, but understanding the accuracy and health of the data itself, make sure the data is correct, is important. So data quality is definitely a key pillar. Data observability, which for a lot of companies is their whole product. For us as a pillar, it's just a feature, an important one. But data at rest monitoring or data observability is a very important pillar as well. Again, looking at data volume checks, data freshness checks, making sure the data is accurate, the whole, complete, fresh, all that. And then a few important pillars, again, that are pretty unique to Pantomath are data in motion monitoring, or rather operational observability.
Exactly.
Looking at, again, not just the data at rest components, but also the data in motion components that lead to the symptom. Data at rest is most likely a symptom.
Yep.
Data in motion, what broke in the pipeline leading to bad data, missing data, stale data, that data in motion monitoring of, again, data ingestion, transformation, orchestration, refresh, and BI jobs, monitoring those in real time is very, very important. So that's a key pillar. And then the most important one, in my opinion, Ravit, is actually pipeline traceability. And so let's talk about that for a second. Pipeline traceability is understanding the end-to-end of the data ecosystem and every single data pipeline that's powering data reports and products. Because without that, just monitoring alone, monitoring data in motion, at rest, whatever, it alone is not going to solve any problem. One of the biggest pain points I lived with as a practitioner at GE in the data space is that it's tough to understand what you've built. Because here's the fundamental issue with data ecosystems. They're built up of these disparate, disconnected tools and technologies, these data verticals of data integration, lake and warehouse, orchestration, transformation, BI.
Yeah.
And your data pipeline is going from those data producers to data consumers, touching each one of those hops.
Yeah.
But without a holistic understanding of the end-to-end pipeline, of, again, data in motion and data at rest components, it's difficult. It's a black box.
Right.
And so what Pantomath has built, very unique to us, is an auto-discovery framework that automatically snaps in and understands the end-to-end data pipelines. Again, the jobs and data sets that we've built in the data ecosystem that power data pipelines is what we need to first understand. That horizontal representation does not exist today, right? And so we've married data lineage, which is a pretty well-known concept out there, again, data at rest lineage, with job lineage, deep application level technical lineage, to do true end-to-end pipeline lineage.
Love it, yeah.
And that auto-discovery of the end-to-end pipeline gives us the ability to call ourselves not just an observability, but a traceability platform. And so you take pipeline traceability, operational or data in motion observability, data at rest / data observability, and data quality, put them all together. You now, again, going back to my analogy, don't just have a check engine light that tells you something's wrong and that's about it, figure out what you can do from there, but truly a holistic platform that tells you, again, what's broken, where it's broken, why it's broken, meaning root cause, and all the impact points around it if you remediate to bring the pipelines up and running in real time.
Love it. All those pillars are fantastic in terms of data quality, data in motion, pipeline traceability, and the last one,
data quality.
The biggest one as well.
Yeah, it's been around forever, right?
Yeah. All right, so these are great insights, Somesh. Also quickly want to learn a little about any use cases that you would want to share with our audience, anything that you've been hearing from your customers where it's been a good problem solver for them.
Sure, yeah. We've been fortunate to be live with some of the largest Fortune 500s and larger enterprises in the world, and so we see day in, day out customers that struggled with bad data, stale data, data quality issues, using Pantomath to resolve those problems in real time. Right? We have customers that were losing 6 to 7 figures in revenue.
Oh my God.
Yeah, huge numbers, right? Losing 6 or 7 figures of revenue, sometimes on a monthly basis, because they had issues in that data pipeline. And again, the issues where they were catching it after the fact. Their customers, in some cases external customers, in a lot of cases the internal reporting teams were realizing those issues after the fact, and they had to go back and remediate these issues. And again, not just sometimes revenue loss and productivity loss, but also in a lot of cases reputation loss, right?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
so with Pantomath, what we've been able to do is in real time detect those problems, tell the business users, hey, don't make a poor decision on this data. It's wrong. Just pause that for a minute. And telling the technical teams, the data teams, the data reliability engineers, operational engineers, support teams that here's what you have to do. Here's how you troubleshoot across all those different data platforms in a single stop shop to quickly identify the root cause, understand the impact so you can resolve the issue in real time, and then prevent the business impact. So a lot of different use cases out there where the data was latent, leading to data freshness issues and stale data and people making decisions off of that. Sometimes the right amount of data not coming in, sometimes a job breaking somewhere. And while those individual siloed tools and technologies would tell you, sure, there's a job that's broken, what do you do from there, right? You don't understand the holistic end-to-end impact. For example, again, going back to one of my GE examples, one data ingestion job breaks, something as simple as a failure, let alone the more nuanced things that happen where the data didn't come in right amount of records didn't come in, but something as simple as a failure, there are 10, 15, 20 different reports and dashboards downstream using that, or one-to-many correlation with all those branches you've built, and it's impossible to manually try to reverse engineer that and understand how you fix that. It's too late. And so customers were facing, it's not a GE problem, customers were facing those issues across the board, pretty universal challenges in the data ecosystem, and that's what we've been able to deliver for our customers is 100% plus ROI in the first 3 months and real-time solutioning to make sure they trust their data, make better data-driven decisions, and eliminate, again, poor decision-making with bad data that sometimes has costed them millions before Pantomath existed.
Love it. I love how y'all are solving that problem, because that's one of the biggest pain point for a lot of enterprise leaders out there. Just since we are in this, interesting times of AI, I'm kind of curious to also learn a little about how is AI helping data observability.
Yeah, it definitely is, right? We're still early in the journey, as most people would tell you. But we see it at Pantomath in two primary use cases, at least today, right? A lot more, I'm sure, will evolve over time. But two primary use cases with AI that we're solving for. Number one, I talked about sending those alerts to business users, to data consumers. Looking at, again, a Tableau or Power BI dashboard, maybe a homegrown application, looking at data in real time. And today, Pantomath would send them a Slack or Microsoft Teams notification saying, hey, don't make a decision off this report. They still, though, have to go in, message their IT teams and data teams, hey, what's going on here? When's this going to be up and running? Now, we do have an incident management process in Pantomath, so it gives them the real-time updates, but it's not quite the same as talking to someone, right? That cultural piece of like, hey, I need to talk to a human to understand, is this good? Am I all set? Can I make a decision off of this? Can I go build my customers with this data, for example? And through AI, what we're doing is meeting those data consumers, those business users, exactly where they are.
Yeah.
With a simple chat interface, now they can actually talk to AI and understand, hey, is this data good? Because again, now of course, Pantomath itself, that's where the name comes from. Pantomath means someone that knows it all, has a holistic understanding of what's broken, where, why in real time. And through the Gen AI models, we can actually have a conversation with their data consumers, hundreds of data consumers, and tell them, hey, now the report is good versus it's not. A green or red check light, essentially, but through a conversation, give them trust and confidence in data. That's one of them. And the second one, actually, pretty ambitious, but today, even as much as Pantomath solves with the end-to-end cross-platform pipeline lineage and traceability, all auto-discovered, and real-time monitoring of data at rest and data in motion, there's still a human-in-loop component. There's still a manual component, like there is in any application. Yeah. So you have to go and understand what's wrong, how you fix it, and so on, right? The vision really is to automate root cause analysis and self-heal pipelines.
Yeah.
If we can fully automate the root cause analysis process and understand truly what's broken and recommend users, how do you fix it, but more importantly, ideally take it a step further, saying, I'm going to fix your pipeline across all those different siloed off platforms for you and heal that entire pipeline, remediate the issue to begin with, truly automate data operations. That's the goal, that's the vision. Still early, we're not there yet, But that's what we're
You're
striving
getting
towards.
there. It's
Yeah.
going to evolve very fast.
Absolutely.
These are fantastic insights. And Somesh, just keeping time in mind, obviously, I also want to let our audience know if they want to reach out to you, where can they do it? If they want to learn more about Pantomath, what's the best place? Is LinkedIn
Sure.
a good place?
Yeah, LinkedIn's a great place. Somesh Saxena is where you can find me at Pantomath. Our website is just pantomath.com, as simple as that, pantomath.com. So would love to connect with folks here at the summit and elsewhere and chat data observability.
Awesome. This is great. Thanks for visiting the Ravit Show, Somesh. Such a pleasure to chat with you and looking forward to having a blast.
Likewise, thanks for having me.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.